Thank you for joining us again on another episode of the Commend Journey podcast. I'm your host, Michael Diamond. I am back with a special end of the year episode, and we have a special guest with us. And as we always like to do in the show, we'd like to have the guest introduce themselves. So guest, take it away.
Hey, Mike, thanks for having me on. Tom Reilly, President of Commend Americas. Happy to be here and really appreciate this podcast. I think it's a great exercise and appreciate you leading it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. One of the questions we always like to start off with is sort of a introduction to the person we're interviewing. So why don't you tell us a little bit about how you came to Commend?
Yeah, so firstly, one of those boomerangs of the industry. So I've been associated with Commend for quite a long time. Earliest days was 2005. I'm actually the second Tom Reilly to lead Commend. I took over for my father when he retired in 2019. My father really started Commend Americas in the early days when it was just a few people. And I had the opportunity when I was in college to be one of those few people that helped answering phones, packing boxes, and just generally taking messages when my father was out trying to grow the business from a sales perspective. After that, I completed my education and started a whole different career. I was in the financial services consulting world with Ernst & Young. And did that for 2 years and then decided what better thing to do when you're 23 or 24 years old than jump into a sales management position for new technology company. So had a really awesome opportunity, truly once in a lifetime opportunity to work for my father, again, in the early days of Commend Americas, and was a regional sales manager for what we defined as the Northeast back then, which was huge. It was Maine down to Delaware, and as far west as, I think, Minnesota at that point. So huge piece of country. But it was really, really great at a really young age. Learned how to lead a sales region, learned how to engage in professional business sales, and learn the industry. I then kind of ping-ponged back to Ernst & Young after that and rejoined my career there after working in sales at Commend for about 3 years. Progressed from my career there, really, really enjoyed it for about 7 years. And then in 2019, I was recruited to come back to replace my father as he neared retirement by our global CEO and start the role of President of Commend Americas, which for the listeners is all of the Americas. It's the United States, Canada, South and Central America.
So one of the topics we've been focusing on in the Commend Journey is the topic of migration. There's an awful lot of talk about migrating from some of the old devices to new devices based on features and based on enhancements. If you could speak to an enterprise level customer who's thinking about the next type of hardware they're going to purchase, or when they're going to migrate to something newer, how do you approach that? How do you approach it with a customer who says, the hardware's not broke, why fix it?
Mike, the way I look at it is, technology changes constantly, and there's a need to obviously be respectful to useful life and the expected tenure of a technology. But at certain points, there's reasons for a more critical look at what you're actually using and what's possible. Now, what we're looking at from a Commend point of view is a really systematic view as to how the market has used Commend over the years and reconciling that with what our system stands for now. So over the years, as customers invested in Commend technology, there was a point in time value proposition, right? And the value proposition was some combination of being one of the first from an IP communication perspective, industry leading audio quality, integration capability, and system stability. If I were to summarize, that was kind of what we brought to market and adopted for those reasons, and customers really, really enjoyed it. Now that longevity piece has kind of been what you're alluding to, right? Customers used Commend for a long time and the system's extremely stable. And in normal postures, as you said, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So Commend really has been that stable technology that oftentimes is deployed in the field for a decade or more. Now, Commend has since invested very aggressively in what our new value proposition is. And we, as many manufacturers do, summarize it into a platform transition. And it's one that we've been working on for many years, and we call it Symphony. Now, why Symphony? Well, technology has changed a ton, and also the risk factors that our professional customers have to deal with has changed. So, we still lead in audio quality, we still lead in networkability, but the ability for edge intelligence and multi-capable devices, like our devices just do more and you are more capable, has changed quite a bit, and that's dependent on this new platform. And also, cybersecurity has become obviously the buzzword, but also the critical topic for the industry and for the world. So, as part of a migration or modernization exercise, we simply want to get awareness in front of our new customers as well as our existing customers as to what our new value proposition is. So there's no real difference. The only clean piece of orchestration that we want to make sure we maintain is what we brought to the market initially, and that's system stability and a long tenure of relationship. So Commend is extremely cautious and extremely diligent about evergreen technology system interoperability, but not end-of-lifing something and leaving our customers empty-handed. So this exercise is all about bridging customers to the new technology and enabling them both to get onto a cybersecure platform, which we've been obsessively focused on before it was a buzzword, but also enabling the capabilities that our new hardware and software allow, and the ability for our enterprise customers to take advantage of our new capabilities is only possible with the new platform. So that's kind of a joint value proposition, Mike, of increasing operational effectiveness through the technology and increasing cybersecurity through the platform. And that's my answer for what Commend hopes the market hears in our articulation of modernization.
It really is a multifaceted challenge for our customers in a lot of ways. What's great is I've seen several large customers take on this challenge, and they come to realize that Commend is an equal partner for them in these steps. We're going to have that intelligent ownership to know how the pieces fit together. And I think that's critically important when you see all of these new feature enhancements and hardware coming out. I think customers are going to need a partner who has that proximity of knowledge, a partner that is close to all of these features and benefits that the industry is now offering to help engage and click into place for the largest benefit for their locations.
I agree. Commend's globally and obviously in the Americas is really taking a critical look at what it means to be a trusted partner, trusted advisor, right? So we desire as a manufacturer to improve in all dimensions. One is in the way that we engage with our channels. So we deeply value our dealer channel, and we aspire to increase our relationships and effectiveness with them on every dimension, at the executive level down to the individual technician. We want everybody to be empowered and trusting us as a partner, right? But we also realize there's a really urgent need, both for our sake, our dealer's sake, and also the end user's sake, to establish that direct connection. So in the last years, we've been building up a much more multi-dimensional team to ensure that we can engage with end users in harmony with our channels to not only articulate the capabilities of what you can do more, completely, but also facilitate that delivery, right? So technology has gotten so complicated, the ability for different capabilities for our side, but also different kind of joint capabilities from an alliance and integration perspective has grown so much that it's really a multi-front effort to ensure that awareness is brought to the end users as to what's possible. And then the path to enabling that is taken care of in parallel with both the dealer community, the alliance partners community, the specifier community, and all in between. So we really want to be that manufacturer, that partner that's really close from to use your proximity of knowledge perspective to the drivers of the market. That's the end user, but also the kind of holistic objectives to solve that from the specifier and the integrator perspective.
Yeah, I look forward to 2024 quite a bit, which is where the basis of my next question begins at, which is, without any sort of industry spoilers, what are you looking forward to? What can you talk about and tell us about that you're looking forward to in 2024?
So there's a lot. And what I will say is, maybe I'll probably give you two or three answers, unfortunately. One, I'm very excited about the evolution of our platform and what that means for the different dimensions of the market that we serve. And what does that mean? So we have an extremely capable system. There's multiple ways that you can connect it. We have our own server, virtual server. We have our cloud offerings. We have Mesh, which is kind of a peer-to-peer. The way that we're developing those is obviously one of a joint value proposition that the whole system go together forwards, backwards, seamlessly, just as usual. But it's also one of simplification. So the end user community and the dealer community knows of the complexity of certain commands, kind of deployment and kind of maintenance exercises. Capable system oftentimes in early days equals complexity, right? There's just a lot you can do. So there's tools used to facilitate that. I'm very, very happy about our very aggressive investment to simplify and modernize and management of our system. So that's one thing I think is going to be a real, it's going to be incremental as we release it, but it's going to be a game changer both for the enterprise, but also for kind of the mid-market customers. So that's more on like the evolution stuff. And all that goes along with that is the kind of continuation of our Symphony platform transition. So there's going to be a new piece of hardware that go into that. And that's just our normal evolutionary release, but frankly, very exciting, really powerful stuff. The other side of it is maybe a bit on the just a technology evolutionary piece, right? So everybody knows, oftentimes there's kind of transition points in the industry of like consumer level technology that everybody's used to kind of getting reconciled into the professional world. We're in the early days of exploring what our Ivy platform is capable of. And it's on our website. It's a publicly kind of marketed thing. The industry's going to hear more about it in the early part of 2024. But I'm very excited as to what conversational AI in the hands of a company like Commend can mean for the industry. A lot of our other technologies that we've brought, both IP and also like the multi-capable edge devices like touch screens and digital signage, embedded intercom, all of that stuff is really kind of frontier expanding technology that Commend's brought. And we obviously have a tradition of that innovation. This one is also different in the hands of certain technologists. They may go off in one direction as to what is possible around audio analytics and conversational AI, with our very disciplined view as to how we can make our customers' experiences more operational efficient or more secure or more secure, I guess, to be more precise. Really excited as to what this is going to be in our toolbox. So I don't know if I'll go too deep into it, but really excited as to what that's going to lead to.
No, that's great. I'm eagerly looking forward to 2024 even more now. So on the Commend journey, we like to talk about challenges. And the reason why I like to talk about challenges is because it's an opportunity to see how someone thinks. And so I guess I'll ask, when you look back at 2023, what are the challenges that you saw, and then maybe challenges you might not have seen coming that surprised you about what was going on in the industry and the markets that you touch?
Yeah. So every year has its own challenges, but all of them are equal to opportunities, right? That's just how it is. And that's how businesses grow. But I think 2023 had just some very macro challenges. And there are ones of, it's a challenge that we're still going through. And I think we'll all kind of jointly determine how we're going to get out of it. But it's one of an adjustment of, frankly, the cost of money and the impact on budgets, right? So in the years after the pandemic, there was amazing demand. There's pent up demand that we're all able to work with our customers to realize, right? And we've all operated in a world of very cheap and available money. So the culmination of those two after pandemic led to really interesting and relatively quick sales cycle opportunities in 2021, more 2022. This year has been the adjustment to that. Cost of money has changed. The consensus as to where the economy is going is inconsistent. And that's led to just a longer sales and assessment cycle as everybody reconciles that with their budget. So if I were to say like the challenge for 2023, it was one of adjustment there, to be plain, right? I think there's a lot of value engineering and a lot of additional kind of confirmation cycles before purchase happens, and that's just the adjustment that we're all going through. In the other hand, there's no shortage of opportunity and the need for everything I talked about before to find its place within the channels to pursue that opportunity. So simultaneous to that sort of macro adjustment, there's also adjustment to really finding the right way of giving support to those channels, right? So we realize that there's a more and more aggressive need in the market for deep alliances. And Commend has always been a very open and thrilled integration partner. But what we found is in the pursuit of driving very specific solutions, not products to market, so solutions for certain verticals, there's a need for very firm alliances with other industry players. One of the things, I don't know if it's a challenge, one of the things that we've been really focused on this year is building up what our targets are for that in anticipation of a fresh program launch in the new year.
No, it's a fantastic answer. It's a tough question. It's meant to be. And I'm sure everybody appreciates the insight. So I like to ask the $64,000 question, which is generally the Nostradamus question at the end of an interview. And I'll ask you the same, which is, if you're looking 3 to 5 years down the road, what is the thing that we're talking about that maybe we don't see now? What's the thing on the cutting edge?
Yeah. I mean, look, I think the answer that you will often get is in alignment with the energy at trade shows, right? Everybody's talking about AI and how it enables or disrupts the industry. I think that is obviously a safe answer, and every dimension of the industry is reconciling what that's going to mean, right? For Commend, we have our own both challenge, but also opportunity to integrate into our technology. And I think us as professionals also have our own challenge and opportunity to integrate. I don't actually think that's the biggest challenge. I think the real thing is going to be, how do we scale the human element of providing solutions and helping the industry become more secure and more efficient. There's no doubt that there's a trend of efficiencies being required, and technology is a real enablement for that. There's a demographic reason to it. There's kind of a workforce focus reason to it. There's just a general need for operational efficiencies reason to it. And I honestly think trusted communication and technology partners have a tremendous opportunity in the economy ahead. I think that the blend between technical capabilities and customer service and relationship management is going to be key, because the world is going to be very rapidly changing, and we're all going to be very much dependent on the humans that we've developed that trust with. So the opportunity for a company like ours is to continue innovating both on the product and platform level, continuing our deep alliances as to who we can join forces with to become a more impactful player in the industry, and ensuring that we can deliver that with the appropriate value, meaning non-commoditized. The real keyword is value, so that we can employ the right professional focus to really wrestle with the industry leaders as they work to address the challenges that come ahead. So it's a technology problem, but it's also a challenge to ensure the right personal connections so that we can marry the technology with the use cases that we frankly can't even dream of right now. So technology is an enablement. That enablement's only going to be possible with the right established sort of trusted foundation of service. And that's frankly what Commend wants to continue to bring to the market.
Oh, absolutely. I agree that the challenges in the future are going to be best met by companies and workers who are agile, who continue to stay walking the technology and bleeding edge curve of our environments, that we stay present and perceptive on the changes and the needs of our customer base, and then truly also the needs of their customers, because our customers especially have customers. So I'd like to thank you, Tom, for coming on the Commend Journey podcast and also being a champion for it its arrival. So that is one full year of shows. Thank you so much.
Awesome time. Thank you very much for the discussion, but also, again, thank you for establishing this channel. And thanks to all the listeners for tuning in. We appreciate the partnership.
Thank you. All right, folks. Have a wonderful rest of 2023. And we look forward to talking with you and all of our guests in 2024.